on like day 4, I think, of this truck. Day 4. Day 3, there was literally like no filming because we dealt with, let's see here, washing it, taping it, getting it through paint, you know, dealt with all that. So there was like nothing really to film. But we got it out of paint. Y'all can't really see it, but I'm about to show it to y'all. We were checking it out, talking, discussing a few things. Ed's putting in an order for a little bit of rattle can paint to touch up some areas. But let's flip the camera around and check it out. So here's what we got on the front shot. Take you around to the side and show you in the sunlight. This thing turned out wicked, and we're not done with it yet. Still got to do the hood, the tailgate, and some other odds and ends. But there she goes. All right, so as you can see, she kind of is basically like a dark gray blue, but then in the right angle when the sun hits it, it flops a purple almost. So it's a extremely hard-hitting color, but it holds a purple gray flop most of the time. You can see up front, like that right there is a good, you know, representation of when it's in the shadow. It has a cloudy day, it has that dark gunmetal gray almost, and then when the sun hits it, it pulls out purples and blues. So the wheels turned out amazing. I know y'all seen that in the last video, but now you can see them with the paint. So Ed's ordering rattle can to get in here and touch all this up. You always want to do your frame rails. I did mess up, and before I put the wheels on, like Ed said, he got on me. He's like, you should have done your brake calipers, not painted them with brake caliper paints, but just hit them with a little cheap black just to get rid of that dirty look, to make it look more like a newer truck. Because when you're flipping these things, you're going for the brand new, off the lot looking truck. You know, when people come to buy your vehicle, they don't want to see dirt, they don't want to see grime, they don't want to see rust, okay? Even though it's the same vehicle, if you don't have rust, grime, and that dirty look, you're increasing your chances of selling like crazy. Same exact vehicle, just looks. So you got to clean everything up. So we're going to get in here and just rattle can the frame. Most dealers actually keep a ton of black paint in stock because on trucks they always rattle can the frames. If you go to any decent car lot, if you haven't paid attention, you'll always see that the frames are rattle canned, and that's what helps sell the vehicle that sells. But now you can see when it hits this way, you know, the wheels are now definitely pulling out their copper color, and the paint's hitting more purple. But then if you go back up here, even though it's still bright, the wheels are more darker. So at night, the wheels are going to look black and the truck's going to look dark gray if you see it at night. And then, you know, in the sun, like you can see this angle right here, the wheels are starting to look more black. Like right there, if you took a picture like that, the wheels look way closer to black than they do when they're hitting in the sun. I did not do the mirror on purpose. So here's a little insider, a little secret about building a good looking vehicle is your modifications, you know, they all have to be tasteful and equal. So you can't have something too heavy. So when your eyes look at a vehicle, your eyes shouldn't grab anything. If you go to look at your vehicle outside and your eyes are continuously grabbed by one thing, then you messed up and it's wrong. Your eyes should grab the whole vehicle, and you just basically just stare at it, you know, like in amazement of the whole vehicle. Like even with a race car or whatever, it should, one eye, if your eyes continuously grab by one item, it's too heavy. It's way too heavy. So the mirrors, if I would have put the color match mirrors on this thing, it would have, the paint would have went from tasteful to too much. And you know, right now the mirrors just blend in with the trim and the windows. I did also go ahead and color match all the sun visors. They're color matched with the vehicle. Went ahead and did them. They were a little faded, so I figured why not. And one thing that I did skip on to kind of save time, and because of the visor choice, was putting the black pillars between the windows. So I was going to paint the black pillars on like the newer trucks, but I decided not to because of how your sun visors, you know, your line technically for the black would have to be way up here, and then that means you can't color match the sun visors because then it would just look like crap. So I decided just to skip that and not do the pillars. If I wanted to do the pillars later, then I can go back and put vinyl on it. little irritated this morning because Mike has pointed out to me that he believes that this key fob is aftermarket and that it's just double-sided taped on. And if that's the case, then I would have definitely ripped it off. So he's pretty sure that it is controlled by a battery inside of it, basically just like your key fob, and that it was an addition that somebody put on and it's not working right now because the battery's dead. I don't like that thing, so I would have definitely ripped it off, but I didn't want to start pulling on it and ripping on it and break anything, you know, when I was prepping for paint, because I'm used to it always just being bolted on. I've never seen one, you know, that is double-sided taped on. So I've got to go in the door panels and hook the mirrors up. They're not hooked up. I just kind of got everything together last night, and when I do that, we're definitely going to look up there to see if there's any screws or wires. But let's see if we can get a close-up of the paint. So there's the colors. Kind of get the camera to focus. You can see some of the colors. So it's literally a ton of colors. Let me change the camera so this might focus a little better. You can see all the different colors in the metallics. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. There's at least 30, 40 different colors in here. So it's a custom mix, so you're definitely not going to duplicate that. They are the 6.7 taillights that were put on it. The 6.7 taillights stick out a little more, makes it look a little bit more modern. The reverse light bulb is different than the 6.0s or 7.3s, so I do have to change that socket, that plug out. I'll probably get that done on the weekend or something. The rear bumper that's going on it is a 6.7 rear bumper, and like I said, we haven't got the tailgate done yet. The caps, while they were off the truck, I did go ahead and paint them with trim and bumper paint. We went over that in multiple videos, so I went ahead and took them off and did them right on this job, even though these things are a bear to take off. But while they were off, I went ahead and painted them with trim and bumper paint so they would match. The door jambs are not off too bad. I mean, you can see it in the camera, okay, but it's not like it's, you know, white door jambs on a black vehicle. It's not like it hits you in the face of how bad it is. So that's the problem right there, is when you do a color change and you don't do door jambs, is making sure that your color is not horrible against your door jambs. So the interior cleaned up really good last night. I mean, this truck overall is in really good shape for its age. It's a 03 with 260,000 miles on it, so it's surprisingly in good shape. It's not too dirty. So we still got a bunch to do. I got to get some floor mats in here, and door panels still need to be cleaned up on the inside, like I went over. They're disgusting, but this all has to be put back in because the radio's not been installed yet. I got to install the double din that's going in it, and then I do got to do some work on the back of the center console. Might run it over to my upholstery guy, get him to give me a hand if I can't get it, but overall I think it turned out good. So right now the grill's up for debate. We were weighing out options on what to do with the grill, if we should leave the perimeter chrome. I definitely want to leave the bars chrome, but I'm thinking about color matching the perimeter. But again, you don't want it to be too heavy. So right now the bumper is actually pretty tasteful on the truck. The chrome on the front's tasteful because the headlights are black. If you would have had chrome headlights, it's an immediate ball game changer, and you would have to color match the grill, because then there would be way too much chrome on the nose and the whole front end would be chrome, and that's just not tasteful in my opinion, for the most part. So we may or may not color match the grill and leave the tubes chrome. I want to get the hood on the truck and stand back and look at it again before I decide to do that. The 250 badges that are going on the side, they're going satin black with trim and bumper paint. They're gonna get done, you know, and you can see this side in the shadow how our frame kind of looks black. It's actually not, it's just a shadow, but you see how much better that looks than when we were on the other side and you got that rusty, dirty, not rusty, you know what I'm saying, like just dirty, grimy looking frame staring at you. And the wheels also look black on this side because the truck's not in the sunlight. So the paint and all the colors on this truck are definitely triggered off light. Truck looks dark gray on this side. So I figured I would just update y'all real quick, you know, on where we're at. This little rinky-dink exhaust tip is going, so I'm not a fan of super big, but I have ran an 8-inch tip on every truck, so I do have an 8-inch tip on the way, but it's not supposed to be here till next week. But yeah, I'm stoked with how it's turned out. So what we are working on is just cleaning up this old truck. I didn't even think about showing y'all this until after I done did the seat and the center console, and I was like, crap, why didn't I show them that? I forget that everybody doesn't know what I know. And I would think that everybody knows it, but I hire employees all the time that literally have no clue. Okay, so here's what we do to get this truck. Has 260,000 miles, 2003. You know that leather didn't look like that. It was very dirty, grimy and everything. All I've done was the center console, armrest thing, and the seat, and wiped this seal plate out, and that water was clean. Crystal clean whenever I started. So here's what I do. This is all I got. It's a spray bottle and rag. That's all I got. And a bucket of clean water. Okay? So let's go out here. This is what we use. And we use this stuff full strength, man. This is my secret weapon to detailing cars, flipping cars. We use this stuff by a 5-gallon bucket. We go through about 5 gallons a week on average. Purple Power. So you can pick this up at your local Advanced Auto Parts. I'm pretty sure O'Reilly's and AutoZone and all the other parts stores will have it. This stuff is absolutely amazing. You don't have to buy it by the 5-gallon. You can buy it in the smaller stuff, but if you've never used this, please go buy some this weekend. Try it on something that you got and let me know what you thought, please. So on the back of it, it shows what they want you to do, full strength or diluted. Let's see here. Yeah, so the FS stands for full strength. So there's a list, down there: engines full strength, tires full strength, underbody full strength, and then vinyl seats 10-1, all that stuff. All kinds of pull areas, they want it cut, like everything. Okay, I don't do none of that. Full strength, 100%, everything, baby. The only thing I've ever had this stuff possibly mess up on is black plastic. Okay, plastic, like black interior plastics. I've had it mess them up before, like discolored them, because it's so strong. This stuff is strong, so try not to get it on, just anything. But we pretty much put it on everything full strength, like even black plastic. I'm just warning you, to just basically be careful. So full strength, I'm gonna just spray it on my leather. Yes, I will later on go back. I don't have it with me right this second to show you, but I will go back and do a leather conditioner, because this stuff is basically a stripper. This stuff is amazing. It literally just strips grease and grime out of everything. So it's going to turn your leather from like a little more softer, I guess you can say, to a little dried out feeling. But nothing that a little greasy leather conditioner don't bring right back. So it's probably going to be harder to see on this seat. I really wish I would have showed y'all that, because your driver's seat and your center console lid are always the worst. Also on these trucks, this pad is replaceable. It's only $30. I seen it last night. But due to budget, I can't replace it because I have to stop somewhere, or I'll be done rebuilt this whole entire truck. But I just want to let y'all know that if you do have that felling, I seen it actually pop up on Facebook the other night, and I'm sure you can get it on eBay and all that stuff. They do make a pad that bolts right on to replace your felling product. So this is all I do, is I spray it on full strength, and then I take my wet towel that I dipped in a bucket of clean water. All the bucket of water is for is literally just to flush the towel out, or the rag, as it gets dirty and grimy. Let me see if we can see any difference on these seats. Yeah, I didn't think you would be able to. Not like you could if I would have showed you on the driver's seat. I'm always 1 minute too late, man. I don't know. I can kind of see it making a difference. I don't know if y'all can through the light. I know that it's making a huge difference, but I just don't know if it's going to show up through the camera. So yeah, I guess you can if you look up here versus that. I haven't wiped that down yet. So you can tell how that just looks a little darker and this looks lighter. It's amazing, man. It takes the dirt out, the grime out. We clean motors with it. We clean tires with it, wheels, rims. Normally we don't wash the car with it, because it can kind of put streaks. Basically, like if you have a grimy, dirty car and you let it run down the car, it will clean the areas that it runs down so good that you'll see them areas. Now, if you can equally spray it over a car, which we do, when we get Toyota Camrys, the white ones are real bad about the clear coat fading. and then being grimy. So when we get them, we do wash them with Purple Power a lot of times, and it cleans them up amazing. But you just gotta be careful. Basically, even on your leather seats, you've got to put this stuff on, like spray it on evenly, and not, puddle it on where it runs. Because if it runs, it's gonna be so concentrated that it's gonna clean the piss out of that one run, and then you'll see them runs, and then you'll have to keep cleaning everything else to make it look the same. But you can pretty much spray this stuff on everything, man. Like, it is absolutely amazing. So maybe you already know about it, maybe you don't. If you don't, please go try it, because I promise you will instantly be in love. So I'm gonna finish wiping all this out, cleaning this up. Just, my rag right now, I did that seat and that sill. It's time to dip it to flush it out. The door panels are the other side. Yeah, they're pretty. The other side's really nasty on the insides. I have to take them off to hook the new mirrors up anyway. So what I'm actually do is, when they're off, I will Purple Power inside of here, spray it all in there, and pressure wash it out while it's off the vehicle. The whole door panels. The tops, I'll show you that here in a second. But if you remember our other video where we use the heat gun trick to bring the plastics back to life, if you watch that video, it's called Renewing Your Plastics, or Restore Your Plastics. That's what we're going to do here. So the sun has took all of this out. So I'm going to and it's also peeled the clear coat. But I'm not messing with that. We're just going to run over it with, I don't want to get this on the outside of the vehicle. We're going to run over it with the heat gun. I was going to see on camera if this made a difference for y'all. No, not really. Not where the camera's going to pick it up. But yeah, so there's a tip for you. Hopefully it'll help you out. So here's what we have to do on this hood. We got to get this thing into primer. It has all these little paint chips. There was actually a couple, or like paint cracks. There was actually a couple left behind near the edge of the doors on the cab that I seen while I was painting. Here's a good shot of it. So everywhere, these are little cracks in the paint, basically, that the paint has split all the way down to metal. So your options here are chemically strip it, sand it all the way down, or go through and do like I'm going to attempt to do, and basically take your grinder and grind out every crack, and then go through it, fill it back with Dolphin Glaze, and then sand the hood and prime everything. I believe that grinding every single one of these cracks will be faster than sanding this whole hood down, obviously. Chemically stripping it, I'm just not dealing with it right now. Today is Friday. We close at 11, and my goal is to hopefully get this thing into primer before I leave out of here. That's a lot of work. That means all the grinding done, all the Dolphin Glaze done, whole hood sanded, and primer shot on it before I leave. If I can make that happen, that'd be amazing, because that means our tailgate would be in primer and our hood would be in primer, setting us up for next week, getting this thing back through paint. Alright, so there's what we end up with, and we actually have a dent right here. It's got to have some filler, but a ton of these little spots. So everywhere these spots are grinded out was a little crack in the paint. I think I have got them all. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. But basically now I'm going to go through and put Dolphin Glaze over all this stuff, let it dry, sand the whole hood out with probably 180, and then prime the whole hood with a real thick coat of primer, 2K filler primer, and then we'll come in next week and 320 all that out slick. So the Dolphin Glaze is just going to help us fill in all of these deep trenches I dug, and then the primer will help fill in all the other little imperfections. And this corner right here, I think, is going to need some some actual body filler right there. All right, so that's pretty much going to be a wrap for Friday. Got the hood and Dolphin Glaze and threw some primer on it. It's just a messy coat of thick primer. You can still see all the imperfections in it. Basically, we're just trying to build it up. This will dry out and shrink back over the weekend, and then we'll come in on Monday, throw some guide coat on it, and block it all out, find our last remaining low spots and block them out, and then throw a nice even coat of primer over the whole entire hood. Same thing with the tailgate. We skipped the tailgate because we've got these small areas, but I just ran out of time. Being Friday sanding, There's still some imperfections right there. You can see the bubbles in the paint where it's felling. So basically this tailgate, you can see it everywhere. So we need to basically run over this whole tailgate with 180 and get it knocked down. I taped it up to shoot primer on it, and then I seen them other spots and I was like, no, it's just wasting time. So we need to block the whole tailgate down with 180, and then we'll put primer over the whole tailgate and the whole entire hood on Monday, and then move into these two pieces at the start of next week. So that's going to be a wrap on this video of where the F250 is sitting at. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will catch y'all on the next one.